You didn't start a business to put out fires, but here you are, holding the extinguisher. Business isn't theory, it's pressure, late nights, tight margins, the thing that keeps breaking no matter how many times you fix it. When the room's on fire, the amateurs shout, the pros stay calm. That's the Fixers and Founders way. Part discipline, part rebellion. We walk into broken systems, find the pulse, and make it run clean. Because calm isn't weakness. Calm is a strategy. We're operators, builders, problem solvers. Born from the grind. Built for the builders. Join us now as we chat with fixers and founders just like you. Let's jump in.
That's the other good thing about doing podcasts that I tell everybody is, man, you get free video shorts that you can use.
Yeah. Although the problem is I'm a talker and I'll start talking. I'm like, I'm trying to get to the place I'm going. And I'm like, that's what I'm trying to be like succinct. And I'm not the greatest at it. So just so you know.
That's all right.
And I need like better setups and amazing microphones and cameras like y'all have. I don't
It's
have
just
anything.
a prop. Got our Yeti cups too.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. The branding. That's
Pretty
amazing.
good for like a month.
Welcome back to Fixers and Founders, where vision meets execution. I'm Tony.
I'm Forrest.
And today's guest, Lizzy Blasko, Fractional COO and Integrator. She's the one you call when your business is ready to grow, but stuck in the grind. Lizzy partners with founders to bring clarity, discipline, and follow through. She runs EOS like a pit crew, coaches leadership teams, and frees the CEO to work on the business, not drown in it. Her track record, small biz ops, startups, HR, nonprofits, she's seen every angle, and she shows up with part-time hours but full-time impact. If your team needs alignment, accountability, or just a kick of operational horsepower, this is the episode you've been waiting for. I'm Tony.
I'm Forrest.
This is Fixers and Founders. Let's get to work.
Now, Lizzy, your first podcast episode is today. We're excited to have you here. Just keep that in mind. If you want to use that intro, it's $39.95 per month, and you can use it on your LinkedIn profile.
I was like, I need to hire you. That sounded amazing.
That works good, didn't it? Didn't it sound good? Tony does a great job of that. All right, let's jump in. Did you always find yourself as a fixer, or is that something that just happened by accident? How did that come about in your life?
Yeah, it's probably like both. So first job out of college, I worked at the municipal court in Gulfport, Mississippi, and I was tasked with solving a problem that the judges had. They didn't like the way the court was running. They didn't like the court schedule, and I was their assistant. And they were like, could you fix it? And I was, of course, saying, yeah, absolutely. I'll try. I worked with them in partnership. They had a clear vision of what they wanted it to look like, how they wanted their courtrooms to operate. They didn't know how to do it, how to make it happen. And that's where I found myself somehow understanding how to make it happen. I didn't have any language. I didn't know like, oh, we need a scalable process. Like I didn't have any of that. It was simply kind of tapping into natural strengths and interests that I had. And what's fun is that was over 15 years ago. And the systems that I put in place are still in place today.
See, that's awesome.
That set me on a path to, I realized I enjoyed it. Look at that. There you go. That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
you truly are. I was talking to somebody earlier over lunch, and you are a representation of what I keep coming across, and I found myself at the same place. You're a closet integrator. You were an integrator before you knew what an integrator was, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's cool that the processes are still in place as well. So speaking of processes and things like that, so how do you keep your team aligned when the vision and operations are pulling in two different directions? Not that you've ever experienced that before, but
Right, exactly.
hypothetically,
AKA every day.
Right.
What do you do every day?
if you
It's
had
never
experience,
Yeah, for sure. I think it starts with alignment with your visionary and integrator or your visionary and operations leader, whatever title is being used, your CEO and your operations leader. You can't have the leaders be misaligned or pulling people in different directions, but that is what happens. So really it's starting from that foundation, starting from the foundation of, I sense that you might be wanting us to go this direction, but we have set the course for this quarter. I love the 90-day world. I love EOS. So I would always return to what is the vision? We want to achieve the vision. We're dead set on achieving that vision and our 1-year plan. But in order for us to achieve that 1-year plan, we've got to break it down into these bite-sized chunks, these 90-day projects, in a sense, these rocks. Well, if new things come about and they start sprinkling in, but also we could do this. We absolutely could. Do you want to give something up that we've already assigned our people to, that we're already working on? We can swap it out if you'd like to. Well, no. We don't want to swap it out. Okay. Then let's put that on a list. Let's revisit that idea that you had. So sometimes it's an idea. Otherwise, other times it might be just, I think we should go, we're agreeing on the goal, but they have a different way of getting there. And I'm always open to that. Like the visionary generally has creative ideas. So I would say bring it to the leadership team meeting. If there's a better way to get there, we absolutely want to go the better way. But we don't want to go quietly behind the scenes, taking a different route. We all want to be aligned, going in the same direction. That's the only way we're going to achieve goals. If we head in the same direction, rowing together.
I like what you said about the
And eliminate all of this.
Yeah, eliminate
Yes,
that.
there you go.
How many props do you have?
Don't make me push it.
We're only
Don't
on
make me press it.
only on 2 episodes. So with respect to the long-term issues, I like what you said there. So tell us a little bit about that long-term issues list. How do you use that within the context of working with your clients?
Yeah, absolutely. The good news is that no issue they bring up has to die. And I think that's very comforting for a visionary or a CEO to know. Like they might feel shut down a lot by your operational leader or the integrator who is like, oh my gosh, we've already decided what to do this quarter or this year. You don't have to shut it down completely. It's simply, let's put it in the proper place. So maybe that's just a parking lot or a long-term issues list. When we have time, and hopefully every quarter, we will revisit that list, assess if something on the long-term issue list, actually, now that's a short-term issue. We do need to solve that. It's elevated or it's become an issue that we're talking about regularly. Let's go ahead and move it and address it. So nothing has to die. And I think that's very comforting for a visionary to hear.
They like to be heard, for sure,
Yes.
as we've experienced. So tell me about a time where you feel like you failed, and what did you learn?
Yeah, there are a lot. There are a lot to, I could go so
We've
many
only got a
directions.
30-minute podcast, so let's pick one.
Totally. I was thinking about this recently because there's like big failures and little failure. Within EOS, my first integrator position, I was so excited about getting it rolled out. Now we're going to the next phase. We're rolling it out into divisions and super excited about the plan. And the operations manager was rolling out L10s for the first time to her team. The team was not receptive, as somewhat expected. What is this meeting? Why are we in this? Why do we have to follow this cadence? All the things. And during that meeting, being a person who is very intense and also has like no patience, I took over. I basically took over, started explaining. She was trying to explain the different components of the meeting, of EOS, doing it in the way that she wanted to do it. And I essentially, when I look back on it, I wanted to do it my way. And I basically took over that meeting. Afterwards, she called me and she's like, are you the leader of this meeting or am I? Because I'm not going to fight for that.
Yeah.
And I was like, you are so right. I was like, you're the leader of the meeting. My job was to empower you and support you. And if we need to have a conversation about a better way to position a certain aspect, we can do that after the call, not during. I was like, so I apologized to her. I was like, I'm so sorry for taking over. That was wrong.
Yeah.
That was not good leadership. So that was me probably just being frustrated and then acting upon it, which was not good.
Yeah.
So I was really thankful she called me out. She called me out. We worked it out. From then on, I went into empower you. I'm going to support you. I'm going to jump in when needed if you ask me to. Like that was the role I assumed, but I wouldn't have really gotten there without her really calling out my behavior and me recognizing it.
Yeah. So you learned, and you're not going to repeat that mistake again. That's good. That's a good one to share. Hopefully people are listening on that one.
Yeah, and I personally get out of that too, just how important communication is for relationships in general. So, Lizzy, in your own words and your experience, what would you say makes a great visionary integrator relationship either work or fall apart?
Yeah, I think most people would probably say the same word, which is trust. It really does matter. And it's not just the cliche response of like, you've got to trust each other. You really do. Because I've experienced when you trust each other and I've experienced when you don't, and it will fall apart. So that part is really critical. How you get there probably depends on personalities. Maybe it's just really connecting at the beginning of your same page meeting, which in a dynamic where I saw it not working, I looked back and I thought, wow, we never did the beginning of the same page. We didn't do the connecting part where we just like do a check-in. How are you doing? how's this week been? How's your family doing? What's going on in your life? When you can humanize someone in that way and you realize they're carrying burdens or they've got priorities outside of work that are stressing them out, suddenly you're a little softer towards that person in the conversation. You're more open. I look back and realize I was not doing that. It was like, let's get straight to business. Well, then it was just a really intense business conversation, you know? So yeah, but yeah, exactly. Which is awesome. I love, like, that is like my daily motivation. However, that doesn't really foster relationship. And so to build that trust, we weren't really investing in the trust building exercise of meeting together. So trust would be the biggest thing. Of course, if I had to pick a second, it would be communication. Like you said earlier, communication's key.
Right on. When do you know in these engagements and these projects when it's time to hand something off to the other side and let go?
Yeah, that probably depends on a few dynamics. As a fixer, I'm usually being handed the thing. Sometimes it's a half-baked idea and you're like, okay, wow, I have a lot of questions. It's really not, we need to work on it. And that's great. I love that. I love being able to ask a bunch of those questions. I think being comfortable, and this is a challenge for me, being comfortable with something being at 80% is it's hard. But saying, hey, I think this is ready for the next person to assume this role, or your team is capable enough to own it, to manage it. No, they're not going to get it perfect, rush it immediately, but they're going to learn along the way. So probably really, this is subjective because who knows when you're at 80%, but based on the project, you can kind of assume on the outcome that you want, are we almost there? And is it ready to go to that next person that then could be elevated? Now you're empowering someone. Now you're elevating someone.
Yeah, I like that sort of, ratio that you put on it there, like the 80-20, that principle. I definitely think that it fits. And then I struggle also, I'll admit, too, with much of what you've said, with wanting to ram things done and, maybe not paying attention or understanding how to nurture some of these relationships. Frankly, like that's an area of opportunity for me, for sure. But also, just thinking about, handing something over, right? As you said, it's not going to be perfect and learning to be comfortable with that 80%, and learning to be comfortable without maybe that optimal outcome and just trying to nurture that next step, for us too. Because I know it's hard for visionaries to kind of delegate and let go. Frankly, it's hard for me to do that a lot of times too. I don't think it's just on them. So with all that said, and loving the process, what is one system or a process that you have put into place you either recommend foundationally for just about any business or that you've done in a special way for a business that really stands out?
Yeah, I think it would have to be the right people, right seats concept that EOS has termed, but also comes from that good to great Jim Collins concept as well. You got to have the right people on the bus. The thing is, no matter what metrics you have, you could have the most robust scorecard. It's beautiful. You're measuring the right things. They're all leading indicators. If you don't have the right people to actually get it done, to check it off every week or every month, or like they're crushing it, doesn't matter. It's just a scorecard now. It's not alive. It's not driving the business. It's not driving accountability and results. It's the same thing with processes. You can have them all live in a beautiful place and they're perfectly designed, but no one follows them. Doesn't matter. So
I know those feels.
Yeah.
it all comes down to people. So if you have the right people that embrace your culture, that live the values every day, and then you have they're in the right seat, they get it, they want it, they have the capacity to do their job, that is a game changer. And I've seen light bulb moments with visionaries where they're like, I know my people well. I had someone tell me that recently. They're like, I think I could probably answer all those questions pretty quickly. Well, when you actually break it down and look at it, and we went one person by person, it's like light bulb moments. We're like, if we could move this person to a different seat, I think everything would shift. Or this person, if I'm being honest, they're a cancer in our company. Okay, that's a big statement. What are we going to do about it? Let's come up with a plan together to fix that. That's the kind of light bulb moments that visionaries can have and leadership teams can have when they really assess it from that angle and not just like, I know my people. Well, there's a structure and a way to go about it that will empower you and allow you to actually move forward well.
Yeah, that accountability chart is a powerful tool. I've experienced it myself with using it to refer back to where you find a problem in the business, you can relate it back to somewhere on the accountability chart. Somebody is not doing something or not doing something well. So,
Want to hit her with a wild card?
yeah, which wild card we want to do?
Dealer's choice.
Dealer's choice.
I'll go after you.
All right. Uh, Lizzy, if you could talk to your younger self, now, and whatever that means, is that a 21-year-old, 22-year-old? I don't know what the age that is, but what is your younger self? If you could go back and talk to your younger self and give your younger self some really, really great advice, what would that great advice be?
I think when it comes to my professional life, something that I have more in the last few years realized and embraced is that your career is a great adventure. And when you can see it as an adventure, it kind of takes the pressure out of it. Because with adventure, there's unknowns, there's highs and lows, there's setbacks. Like no great adventure movie is like, here's the roadmap, and they started and they reached their destination.
Hmm.
That's not a great movie. It's not a great story.
Yeah.
So the story of your career and of the journey that you will take will have unknowns and will have twists and turns and setbacks from your own doing and from unforeseen circumstances that you could have not predicted. All of those things create this amazing adventure with career. And I've gone back and rewritten my career story in a sense with a mindset of this is a journey and it's a great adventure. And I see the future that way as well. So it's not as intimidating or as maybe anxiety inducing when you want to achieve something and I need to reach this level of whatever you're aiming for. I'm a very ambitious driven person. It alleviates that of like, wow, what a great adventure I've been on. And I'm excited to continue it.
That sounds like an awesome LinkedIn post that you should do. Wink, wink, nod, nod. How your
There
career
you
is
go.
an
I love it.
adventure. I'm telling you, you came up with some content already. All right, Tony, back to you. What do you
That's
got?
excellent. I appreciate that great mindset, that positive outlook. You know, it reminded me of one day Forrest was maybe not having the greatest day. And what did I send you, Forrest? You probably don't remember. I sent you Debbie Reynolds singing Chin Up from the Charlotte's Web soundtrack
Yeah, I do remember
on
that.
YouTube. All right. Hey, speaking of joy, Charlotte's Web brings me joy. That's a great story and great film. What is something small in your daily life, Lizzy, that brings you an outsized amount of joy?
Doing podcasts for the first time. That brings her
Yeah,
joy.
doing podcasts. Like a couple of things. I got married later in life. I was 37 and my husband has 2 kids. So I got to, get this family. I have 2 step kids and a husband.
Buy one,
And
get two free?
right, exactly. I always tell them, I'm like, y'all, I got the best deal. I got this little family that came intact. It's amazing. But I think the greatest moments of my day are when he comes home from work, because I work from home mostly, and when they come home from school. Because I have this thing that I look
Amen.
forward to that I never looked forward to before because I didn't have it in my life. And I realize how special it is and how it's just these little moments, those like bright moments. That's not professional, but those are things that I look forward to each day is all of them coming home and being here with me.
I love that. That's awesome.
That's good.
Yes, indeed. Great conversation. Before we end the chat, where can folks find out more about you, Lizzy? I know I dropped your email earlier. Anywhere else, your LinkedIn's, whatever you want to drop here, they can get in touch with you and learn more about you and connect with you.
Yeah, absolutely. LinkedIn is a great place. LizzyBlasko.com, and my email is Lizzy@LizzyBlasko.com. Any of those options will work, and I'd be happy to get in touch with anyone who's interested.
Thank you so much. For
Awesome.
coming.
We'd be happy to have you again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Been a great conversation. Anything you'd like to add for us before we split and head out to the weekend?
No, I think it's great. Thank you, Lizzy, so much. And you did great
Yeah,
on
thank
your
you.
first podcast. Go do some more.
Thank you for the encouragement and the push. I appreciate it.
All right. Good deal.
Oh, my darlings, look at you. Still here with me till the end. That's how I know you're one of us. The fixers, the founders, the ones who build in the chaos and still manage to laugh through it. Drop a comment, share your sparks, and connect with each other. This is where the net weaving begins. Like, share, and subscribe to keep the fire blowing. Until next time.